The following is a presentation of BiGGs Media Services.
Okay, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. So mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole or you have to start all over. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops, the rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. Visit 2min2x.org to find out more. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F. Face drooping. A. Arm weakness. S. Speech difficulty. T. Time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Are you ready?
Time to play the game!
BiGGs Golf Talk. Golf Talk for golfers.
You want to hear a nice golf joke?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have showed up and watched me play yesterday. I should be put on Shank Galore or something like that. A team named that. Scramblers. That's it. Scramblers, that's a team I should be on. Because I was scrambling for my ball.
There's a golf shot. That's a golf shot.
Hey, when am I going to get the caddy?
The bag is bigger than you.
So?
That white one?
Yeah?
That's the one you're carrying.
Oh, man, that thing's a boat anchor.
I haven't had golf anything since high school.
No, that's you, not me. Yeah. She likes to enjoy a beverage herself. Is that what you're trying to say?
I might be distracted. That's another story. Golf course and equipment reviews, golf news, guests, and lots of golf humor. When you need to drive for show.
Are you ready
for BiGGs Golf Talk?
I'm special.
Yes, you are, with a helmet.
So I got that going for me, which is nice.
It is showtime, baby. Here we go.
BiGGs Golf Talk is presented by U.S. Golf Challenge with Tito's Vodka. Qualify for the King's Cup today by participating in a local qualifier near you. Bigg Jon and Bill the GolfFather Cuebas next Saturday will be doing a live show at 1 p.m. from Lake Geneva, Wisconsin at the Tito's Vodka 36-hole major. We hope you'll join us at that time, 1 p.m. Central Time. BiGGs Golf Talk also sponsored in part by ShotScope, Data is Power, Encore Golf, Photo Ball Marker, McNally 22, UFO Tour Golf, Ready Putt, and I've released a social media contest on Instagram and Facebook for you to win your choice of a Ready Putt. All you have to do is follow Ready Putt on Instagram and tag a friend. That's all. That's all you got to do. And Spider Divot Tools. Connect with BiGGs Golf Talk social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Golf Ball. Subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes. We're available in the Google Play Music Store, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and your Alexa devices. Now, I have mentioned that contest with Ready Putt, but we also have giveaways at BiggsGolfTalk.com, BIGGS golftalk.com. We have some giveaways for you to enter as well. Bigg Jon Vic, along with Bill the GolfFather Cuebas and the Golf Diva Amanda Robertson here on this Saturday morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hola.
How is your week been, Miss Golf Diva?
Wonderful. Just another week of golf and fun, and did a little vacationing.
I seen that on social media. Boy, oh boy, you look like you were having some fun on that vacation there.
Oh yeah, just enjoying a little time off. I don't do that often, but I just thought I'd seize the moment.
Bill, the GolfFather Cuebas, how was your week, my friend?
All of it's been going really busy. The twins are going back to school, so I've been running around. Got the school shopping thing going on.
Oh, boy.
They're taking all my money.
I want to get in on that. Hold on.
Hey, well, you know what? There's none left.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because ideally, like, one of them's in a color guard. And then they have this thing here, which I don't understand. I remember going to school and playing sports for free.
Right.
Here, you pay for everything.
Same
If you
here.
go to the only thing that I haven't seen yet, and it might pop up, is a toilet paper fee. But they charged me for everything. It was $550 just for her to be in the color guard. And then there's more fees because
you have your
they just
lab fees, you have your book
Oh,
fees,
my
you have your
goodness.
library fees. Oh, and don't want to park in the parking lot of the high school. No, because there's
Oh,
a
my
fee for
God.
that as well.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, I paid it I got to pay it twice. So everything is double.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my goodness. And then, I'm still paying, of course, you still pay our wonderful school taxes and everything else.
Yeah.
So I try to figure out, how is that my fair share? That's what the government told me when they take my money. It's the fair share. And now the school is taking their fair share and everybody's just taking and taking. So yeah, we've been busy doing that kind of stuff. But other than that, other than Bigg's Golf Talk and golfball.com, just strolling along.
Amanda, you certainly have not experienced that yet with sending a child to school and back to school supplies, back to school clothes, back to school shoes, and then it comes the fees of the school. Then you have to pay the lab fee, the books fee, the library fee.
Oh yeah.
If your child is driving, the parking fee for him to have a parking spot at the school, even though they're under construction. It's there's a whole bunch of fees that get involved in all that stuff. So.
Oh yeah, I was the kid that did literally every sport, every activity, every. I thank God my parents only had one kid. Maybe there's something to their theory, but no, I was involved in everything, and it's so true. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it's just
like
it's
Billy said.
overwhelming.
I mean, when I played in school, it was more or less. Here's a card. Go to your doctor, get it filled out, bring it back, and you can play baseball.
Yeah.
You can play
We
football.
didn't have anything school related. You might have to pay for maybe like one thing, like you say, hey, can everybody like chip in and we're going to buy new something. But like you didn't pay to play and it wasn't like that for me either, guys. So.
Absolutely.
Doesn't make sense.
Well, an update. Last week, as you guys know, I was taking on a competitor that I had to give 3 strokes to, and it got to my head. It really did. I lost.
Oh.
We were pretty even up to hole number 5, which is a par 3. I wound up taking a 9 on a par 3. Not something I'm proud of. But so I hit my tee shot and I pushed it. I sliced it, whatever you want to call it. I prefer calling it a push. But it wound up in a tree stump that a tree got knocked over from the weather, and they cleared it out. And there's a big deep hole there with part of bark and part of garbage in there, whatever it is in there. And I thought, okay, I'm going to find my ball. My partner says, okay, if your ball is there, I'll give you relief, behind it, whatever the case might be. And I said, all right, cool. Of course, we couldn't find the ball, so I had to take a lost ball penalty. Then I wound up hitting that shot in the sand trap. And then the sand trap shot, I sculled it over the green. Then I had to get back on the green for a 3-putt. Hence, a 9.
Yikes. We've all been there. Oh, my gosh.
That hole pretty much did me in for the match. We were pretty good up to that point, straight up. I was 1 up at that point. Even with the handicap, I was 1 up on him. And after that, it was slow play. We were waiting on every shot. There was 2 groups. The second group in front of us was just a hole and a half up behind. And it just added on to what, and I actually maybe want to talk about that. I know we got some stuff we're going to talk about in our roundtable discussion after On Par with Amanda, but slow play, man, that's just frustrating when you're in a momentum, when you're in a groove. It could be just frustrating.
It could be very frustrating. And watching somebody get a 9 would frustrate me a lot.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Golf is so humbling, guys.
It is.
It really is. It really is.
No.
So, but I have one more week. If I win, I'm still in it. If I lose, I am totally out of it. So it's one of those things. Yeah. So I'm on a bubble.
You're not going to lose. You're going to go out there and you're going to go kick some butt.
Damn straight I am. Yes.
Yeah, because you got to represent the right way. Otherwise, me and Amanda are going to fly to Wisconsin. No, we're not. We're going to have to find you somewhere else. It's too cold out there.
Yeah, wait a minute.
We'll find you somewhere where it's warm, and then we're going to kick your butt. So we might have to wait till January, but it's going to happen.
You know what I like about that, Amanda? He won't let you take from him, but he will take you.
Huh? Can you run that by me one more time? I got lost.
You will not allow Amanda to take from you, but you will take her. In other words, you're involving her into this whole we.
Oh, absolutely. What's the point?
That's how it works.
I just want to know, what is your point? That's what I want to know. I mean, I'm going to do what I got to do.
If you can't tell, I'm trying to redirect the conversation here. You know,
it ain't gonna happen, pal. We're coming for you, or rather, we're going to wait till you get near us. So we don't want to waste that extra time in that coldness, but we're going to come after you and get you for losing. So just go out there and do what you got to do and bring it home.
That's right.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Billy, I want to wish somebody a happy birthday, belated birthday. We didn't, it's our first show, but your good friend Logan celebrated a great birthday. You did a lot of great things for him, including taking him and everything else. Big listener of the show, big supporter of the show. Logan, happy birthday, my friend.
Yeah, happy birthday, Logan. It was a pleasure, letting you win this weekend. No, we didn't do that either, but it was good. And did you see the cake that we got?
Yeah.
We got him a purple pink unicorn, man. And exactly, because that's how we roll. But it matched his pants. That was the kicker. We had no idea he was coming out with some pink plaid pants, and I was like, Logan, what are you doing? So I made sure I took a picture with the unicorn and his pink pad plant. Those pants. I can't even say it, but yeah, it was definitely a good thing that we got to celebrate. We do that. It's been perfect celebrating everybody's birthday. I love doing those things. You know what I mean? Because we appreciate the fact that we have that bond every Sunday. We have the same crew out there, and a little band of brothers. We call each other the Sunday Friends Only, but we know that expands much further than that. So happy birthday, Logan.
Now, Amanda, as you may know, as you heard in the opening, Bill and I, we're going to be in Lake Geneva. Unfortunately, you cannot join us, and we're sorry to see that. But, Bill, you and I will be broadcasting live at 1 p.m., so there will not be a 9 a.m. Show because we're going to be going live at 1 p.m. So we're going to be live at 1 p.m. So there's a schedule change for next Saturday. We will not have a 9 a.m. show. We will be live from Lake Geneva, Wisconsin at 1 p.m. next Saturday. So just so you guys know. But, Amanda, what do you got up for the week?
Just really working on my golf game and kind of have one of those weeks where I feel caught up. I'm ready to go. So, yeah, I'm just prepping for Q school and actually got back to, I was on vacation, and you don't eat the best on vacation, and so I'm back to strict eating and just feeling kind of like a little detox going on.
There you go. And
not for nothing. We need that, Biggs.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but we need to do like a healthy section, because I look at Amanda's posts sometimes, and she be posting like all these crazy meals that she cooks. So I don't know if a lot of people know that she actually she's creative in the kitchen and stuff like that with all those different things that she knows.
Wait,
we should do a segment every now. Yeah, she posts pictures of the other day.
I thought it was a
cabbage.
private chef.
No, well, she's not up to that yet. You know any good candidates? Because that could be another segment. Let's get Amanda off the show and get her tied up. You know what? Tied to knot or whatever the hell they call it. Find her. Wait a
minute. Wait, let's go back to that first statement.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, what's a tiger? What?
What?
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. She got caught up at the tie-up. You didn't hear that, folks. I meant tied up. Or when I tied the knot, that's what I meant to say.
Don't give away my secret. Come on.
I'm sorry. Like I said, this is a rated G show, and we're promoting cooking.
This is a children's network.
This is a children's network.
It's a rated G show only if you have a family.
Yes.
I can just see now Billy wants to have a contest. A date with Amanda, and you could tie her up.
No, absolutely not. I do not encourage that behavior. I encourage cooking. Cooking. That's what I'm going to stick with. So, yeah, I think we should do that. You know what? And maybe not every week and stuff like that, but we should, like when we do like the round table, maybe we'll skip one time for the round table, or maybe even use the round table to talk about, eating healthy and different foods, because she has all that stuff, which is kind of nice. And there's a lot of products out there. But some of the meals that she makes, I don't know how they taste, but they look really good. So, I almost want to eat the picture. So it's pretty cool. Presentation is huge, but I think we should think about that. That's all I wanted to say. Nothing about
I'm down. Yeah, no, so I, little quick tidbit. I just dove right in probably about 8 years ago to try to figure out how I wanted to eat healthy and really strict, but man, there's a lot of things that don't taste very good. And so my mom calls me the replacement chef because I'm allergic to dairy. I don't do eggs. And so I had to learn how to bake and cook and supplement those things and a lot of times when you remove those items that are vital, it just tastes awful or your cake doesn't rise. So I really got into that. And I just love it. It's we can always talk food. Just made some really yummy cabbage soup the other day.
Yes, I saw that.
And
awesome, cool. We all agree. We will be having that. Send it in, folks. Let us know what you want to know about.
Where does crawfish fall in a healthy category?
Actually, we can make some healthy crawfish. I'm down.
There you go.
Oh, you see?
So I had crawfish for the very first time the other day. Very first time.
Oh wow.
I'm 52 years old. I never had crawfish. And I've been to Louisiana.
Wow. That is something.
Well, welcome to the club, sir.
Oh, my God. I don't know why I never started eating that before. Oh, my God. That is good stuff. Really
there you
good
go.
Stuff.
Now we know Biggs like the crawfish.
Yes. I ate a big old plate of it, too. Now I understand why when they boil crawfish, now I understand why they just dump it on a table. Because
okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
With the corn and everything on that bad boy.
We got to have a Biggs Golf Talk crawfish boil one day. Yeah, it's oh my God, that is.
Oh yeah, we'll do
stuff.
it. We'll be doing it.
Yeah,
perfect. That'd be awesome.
On today's show, we have a great show for you today. We're going to have a roundtable discussion on par with Amanda is going to take place. The 2018 World Long Drive Champion Maurice Allen is going to be joining us. He did something just incredible. He's going to be joining us a little bit later on to talk about that. Toulon Design is going to be joining us to talk about their partnership with Callaway Golf and much, much more in your Biggs product of the week as well. Let's get on with it. We'll be right back with On Par with Amanda right after this.
The United States Golf Challenge, sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka, is in its 5th season of identifying the best two-person amateur teams in the country. 8 teams and 4 flights in 2 age divisions represent Team USA in a Ryder Cup-style competition with their international counterparts in the King's Cup. We're looking for amateur golfers like you. The King's Cup is played in honor of golf's greatest ambassador, Mr. Arnold Palmer, whose honesty, integrity, sportsmanship, and commitment to excellence represent the ideals for which the game of golf is known. The road to the King's Cup begins with a local qualifier. Over 100 local qualifiers will be conducted throughout the U.S. beginning in February. By finishing in the top 30% of their local qualifier, teams earn their way into the USGC King's Cup National Qualifier. The USGC is also looking for golf courses to host qualifiers. For information or to search for a local qualifier, the USGC website is www.usgolfchallenge.com.
This is a commercial for golfers. Take the next step to improving your game with ShotScope and discover your strengths and weaknesses. Analyze statistics on your clubs, tee shots, approaches, short game, and putting. ShotScope V2 is the golf watch that combines GPS distances with automatic performance tracking. Once you have it, you won't want to play around without it. Check out ShotScope.com to take your game to the next level.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother! We can do this together!
All right, let's go!
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What? Oh my gosh, you don't know!
I know!
You don't? Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No! Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this!
You will rock this!
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's time for commentary, opinion, and controversy. On par with Amanda. And here's the golf diva, Amanda Robertson.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another week of On Par with Amanda. You are listening to Bigg's Golf Talk, and we are happy to have you aboard. So, diving right into this week, last week I touched on the Lexi Thompson controversy, and as I think about it, I always start my segments kind of rehashing what we talked about. If people write in, I do get a lot of write-ins onto my Instagram, commenting and saying things. But I think at the end of the day, there's not much more to say with Lexi. I think she didn't mean to do it on purpose, and while the driver could have made a different decision, and yes, she was responsible, it happens. And that's all that we can say. It's life. We're human. We make mistakes. And so therefore, I think it's just going to kind of blow away, and continue to just get better, and people will start to kind of go back to normal. So with that said, moving right along into this week's topic. So I'm sure a lot of you have read David Ledbetter's statement on Lydia Ko. And this is something that kind of hits home for me, because while I see both sides, I also have very strong opinions on both of those sides. So David Ledbetter, for those of you that are not aware of the controversy, he made a statement and talked. So he was Lydia Ko's coach from like November of 2013 to December of 2016. And Ko kind of went through this thing where she kind of like switched coaches, switched caddies. Like she just really tried to redo everything that she was going through. And right now she's kind of doing that. She's struggling. She's not making cuts. I had the privilege of the last 2 years at the Evian Championship getting to spend a little time with Lydia, getting to talk to her. She's a Rolex ambassador, and they're a huge, obviously, part of Evian. So she's at all the functions, and she's very, very sweet, very down to earth, really like her a lot, and got to spend a little time with her. Now, on the flip side, I also had the privilege of interviewing and spending time, kind of a lot of time, at his new academy and stuff, Ledbetter. So he just opened up a brand new academy there last year, and he's a huge part of Evian. So I'm in an interesting position here because I've spent time with both of these people. Now, I was not around for Lydia Ko, but I can speak on behalf of me being a pro and maybe what I would do in that situation. So here's what happened. So she isn't playing well, and he comments because she missed her second consecutive cut in a major. She shot, I think, like 76. And then she failed to make the weekend at Evian as well. So Ledbetter kind of chimed in and said, it's just a really sad situation to watch. He says the problem is when you start changing everything. So as many changes like as she's made, it's too much. It's too much for you to handle. So Ledbetter then goes on to say, we don't know what's going on inside of her head, like personally what's going on, and she needs to kind of step away and take a break. And he's voicing opinion, which I have no problem with this. He's a world-renowned coach. He worked with her. He knows her. But this is where the controversy starts. He voices his opinion, but then he goes in to talk about her parents. And now he kind of hits a personal, sensitive topic. And he says her parents have a lot to answer for. A case of unbelievable ignorance, he states. They tell her when to go to bed, what to eat, what to wear, when to practice, and what to practice. And they expect her to win every tournament. They need to let her go and let her fly. Let her leave the nest and speak and find her own way. If she can do that, we can see Lydia back. So I really struggle with this because I love David Ledbetter. I think he's a great asset to golf. And also, I don't think he's wrong for what he said as far as, those are very true statements. Now, I don't know Lydia Ko's parents, and I don't know Lydia Ko in that way. But what I can tell you is that everybody's situation is very differently. So looking from an outside perspective, Ledbetter is making an observation saying, look, this is just my opinion. I think that this is the problem, and I saw it. Where we cross a line is now we're getting into client, patient, or for lack of a better term, client, whatever you want to call it, teacher confidentiality. You're now speaking about her personal life and about her relationship with her parents, and you're bringing her parents into something that you might know the back end story. You might know that her parents are driving everything. It's been, and they're a hindrance, or maybe they're not, but if that's fine, except when you come in and you start diving in to let me share with the entire world my thoughts and let me tell you about her parents, it's rough. I don't think it's a very professional thing to do. Feel that way. Go talk to anybody about it, but to make a public statement, you got to know that it's going to come with some heat. And so, of course, I've heard numerous people candidly speak and say, yep, Lydia Ko, they literally tell her every move to make, not even just her parents, but her team of people. They constantly, she's right on schedule with how to act, how to be. And sure, I can't say that she started at such a young age and she always had a team of people with her. She always had her parents right there. I'm not Lydia Ko by any standard, but I'm very close with my parents, and my parents have helped me a lot on my journey. But I'm also my own adult and things like that. So, I can understand, but it works for her. If she's not stepping out saying, my parents are overbearing and unruly, well then let it be. Let her do her thing. But I also will say that, Ledbetter, it's a very good observation and it is probably very factual. I just don't like the fact that he made the announcement on such a personal touch. Leave it at, I think Lydia needs to take some time away, reevaluate what she's doing. But this is kind of the few things that she was struggling with, but she's back on track. I wish her all the best, whatever. But I really struggle with him bringing her family into it. And when I go to someone, whether it's a coach, a swing coach, a mental coach, whatever it is, whatever I tell them is meant to be in confidentiality. So if I come to my swing coach and say, oh gosh, my parents are bugging me this week because they won't get and that's something we're dealing with inside my team of people in my circle. The last thing I want is somebody to go to the public and say, gosh, her parents are awful and they are just absolutely terrible. First off, what good does that do? You're not working with her anymore, so what do you care? And when you were working with her, if you thought that, why didn't you approach the situation and say, look, as a professional coach, this is what I think. And maybe he did. I don't know. But I really, really, really struggle with the fact that he was just so blatant and candid about it. Like I said, I love David Ledbetter. I've really enjoyed the few times that I've got to spend time with him and be around him. But I just... with social media today and people, I just don't know why people have such a hard time keeping their mouth shut. Think what you want to think, but you don't need to go advertising it. He knew that this would stir up, and maybe this will stir up a little fire in her belly here and get her going again. I don't know. But it's kind of an odd way to do so. So, of course, Lydia, she doesn't really always say much, but she chose to write a statement in reply, of course, and it's basically her to her haters, obviously referencing, I would assume, Ledbetter in that mix. And it came one day after the statement from David, and it says, "Thank you to the haters for making me stronger and pushing me to be the best version of myself. And thank you to each and every one of you that have supported me. Your love makes a bump feel like a smooth ride." So then she also said, "Thank you to the haters for bringing out the strength in me and pushing me to be the best I possibly can be. And thank you to all those that have supported me at my highest and lowest and making all those bumps along the way feel like smooth." So that's essentially, but then she adds, "No matter what anyone says, all we can do is what's best for ourselves and most importantly, what makes us happy." And that's the part of the statement that I love. It is so true. You cannot tell someone else what is going to work for them. You can suggest, you can give advice. As a coach, he can say this, this, and this. David is not her coach anymore. David is not working with her. So why is it's a moot point? Why even bring it up and stir up cause? And when deep down, however you felt, you still obviously spent a lot of time with Lydia. You, I would assume, would care for her, care about her, her success. Just not appropriate. So I feel for her. She's in the limelight all the time. She's got a lot of pressure on her. She's pulling big, ambassadorships for people, and she's being pulled in a lot of different directions. Like I said, I'm not saying anyone was wrong or right about her parents, her situation, whatever. I don't know, because I'm not in it and I can't judge that. But I just think why stir up trouble and hurt feelings of someone that at one point you were working with, and that I would think that you do care that they have decent success. So interesting. I don't know, but I'm also on the track of, we live in a very, we got to be PC about everything. So maybe it's just his way. David is a very direct guy, but he's also not a mean-spirited man. So I don't really know. I don't understand the premise of this. But I would love to hear your thoughts, because this is something that, I would hope that none of my past coaches or anything would ever come out and say negative things about me or my family, just because they're bitter that maybe they don't work with me. I'm not Lydia, so I don't think anyone's going to stress over losing me as a client. But, I just would hope that everybody understands the repercussions of starting a fire. So anyway, wishing Lydia all the best on her road to kind of getting back to herself. Hopefully she finds that. I know it can be tough. And David, I just think that, it's going to come with some heat, but he's a grown man and he knows that. So here we are. So make sure you write in. I would love to hear from you. Write into BiGGs Golf Talk. It's BiGGs golftalk@gmail.com. And make sure you write on par with Amanda, or on par in the subject line, so I know that you're talking to me. And then if you want to reach out to me on my Instagram, it is a Robertson Golf. Love to hear from you. Even if it's a quick, hey, thought this was great. I thought it was terrible. I'd love to hear feedback. And I also want to hear what you guys want to talk about. If you come up with something juicy and you hear something kind of weird in the golf world, hit me up. I'd love to go over it and get your opinion on things as well. All right, guys and gals, let me know about Lydia Ko and David Ledbetter, the scandal. There's always something juicy going on, and I want to know what you think about it. You get to hear me for 15 minutes, so I want to hear your replies. And yeah, let's everyone have a great week and hit them straight. And until next time, keep swinging for par.
That was a great segment by Amanda Robertson. Keep swinging for par, people. Keep swinging for par. On Par with Amanda. Sponsored by Backswing Golf Events. Listen, folks, if you're looking for classy ladies to come and raise money for your event or your charity, as a matter of fact, BackswingGolfEvents.com is the only place you need to go to and book these lovely ladies for your event to raise money and entertain the golfers in your event. Backswing Golf Events is the place for your event today.
Having a corporate or charity golf event? Backswing Golf Events can supply your tournament with personable, professional golfers to entertain and fundraise on the golf course. They can accommodate any size group, whether it be 3 players to 500. They are your team. From range lessons, Beat the Pro, and Pro-Am style roaming, they're making lasting memories one swing at a time. So make sure to check out BackswingGolfEvents.com or call us direct at 661-316-3093 and book your pros now.
In the folded flag, we see the heavy price of freedom. Nearly 9 out of 10 dependents of America's fallen and disabled soldiers do not qualify for federal scholarship assistance. The Folds of Honor closes that gap, already providing over 10,000 scholarships. Join us in this noble mission. Donate today at foldsofhonor.org. This is your call to duty.
Golf is a dirty game. It's time to clean it up with Ready Pot, the only putter cover with a built-in ball cleaner and magnetic surface. Clean balls roll accurately, meaning you make more putts. Sink more, swear less. Clean up your game with Ready Pot.
Welcome back to Big's Golf Talk right here on Native Family Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and your Alexa devices. Bigg Jon Vic, Bill the GolfFather Cuebas, and the Golf Diva Amanda Robertson for our round table discussion. Today we're going to maybe talk about a couple things, but one of the things on the main topic is the USGA decided they're going to relax the U.S. Open exemption rule for U.S. amateur winners. And actually, Amanda has a story. Amanda, what's this all about?
So USGA, man, they're famous for changing rules, especially lately. But I actually think this is a really good one. So as an amateur, if you get an exemption into the U.S. Open for the next year, a lot in the old days, but past time, you had to make a decision. Like, if you had to keep your amateur status to then reapply for the U.S. Open. But that's terrible because there's a lot of times that you're fighting for your career and you want to turn pro and you played well. And so they've actually changed this rule now, which I think is great. And you don't have to make the decision. To turn pro or not to turn pro debate is over. So you can apply either way and still keep your exemption into the next year.
Wow, this is some good news. Absolutely. This is also for the men's or women's. And previously, players were only entitled to the U.S. Open, U.S. Women's Open spot if they maintained their amateur status, leading to much hand-wringing over the decision to turn pro, and this is what the USGA Senior Managing Director had said. We believe this change gives our champions an important option as they choose when to embark on their professional careers, said John Bodenhammer. Given the significant purses awarded at the U.S. Open and U.S. Women's Open, we realize how important it is for players to make the most appropriate decision for his or her career and the positive impact it could have at the outset of their professional careers. Great comment and great decision by the USGA. Billy, what say you?
You know what? As I read it repeatedly, it's kind of tough, man, because, you were at one time an amateur, and now when you're actually playing, I know you won for that, but that's in anticipation of you being that amateur and maintaining that status. And now you're turning pro, so ideally you're taking away that the amateur spot. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. I get it. I like it, but then I don't like it because now you're encouraging these people that money is going to be more of an issue for their decision to play at that. So how many people are you going to know ideally say, you know what? I have amateur status, but I can play this and win all that money if I'm a pro anyway. So I think it becomes more of a money game than an actual spot for the amateur being involved in it. So I don't know. I want to listen to what the rest of you guys say to see if my mind goes into a different place. But right now, I don't know if I'm quite, if I like it too much yet.
Being an outsider looking in, and we're going to go to an insider looking out, because Amanda is one of those insiders looking out. She's been there. She has, she's competing and all that stuff, so she knows these people that's competing. I'm going to give you one illustration, Bill, and it's a man golfer, Victor Hovland. He's a perfect illustration of the complications created by the old rule. Hovland, who won the 2018 U.S. Amateur, elected not to turn pro ahead of the 2019 U.S. Open and played brilliantly as an amateur. Finished tied for 12th and turning pro after the event. Now fast forward to the start of the FedEx Cup playoffs, and Hovland isn't among the 125 for that because he's not a pro.
Mm-hmm.
Because as an amateur, you technically can't earn money.
Mm-hmm. But why would when you play and Amanda will be able to tell us why when you're playing as an amateur in this amateur status that you're playing for, there's alleged other benefits. Some of them are still playing in school. Some of them are doing this. Some of them are doing that. So you're afforded that opportunity based on your amateur status. But now you're not amateur. And I know Hovland, he won the 2018 U.S. Amateur, but that was his choice. Do I turn pro or do I compete as an amateur? That you got to make that decision. How many kids do we have? Let's go away from golf. You got these kids that are going right from high school right to play basketball. And what happens if that career is cut short? They're making that decision to drop out of college to go play basketball because they had a great season. But turn that great season and they want to monopolize their money for that thing. What's gonna happen to him next year? I mean, these are the chances that we take. If I'd have made a right turn instead of that left turn, I might not have gotten rear-ended. Those are the choices that we take. But I think to take away the actual amateur status, he played great as an amateur. You put him in a different situation, different views, looking more for money as opposed to where he can get on the amateur status side. That's a whole different ballgame. Look at you when you're 9. You take away the fact that you knew that you weren't playing your game for that championship, and I guarantee you wouldn't have done the 9. You'd have been more relaxed. You wouldn't have been upset. You wouldn't have been thinking about your points. You wouldn't have been thinking about nothing. You add money to it, everything I think changes your outcome. So I don't know.
Well, just not money as far as per tournament, but let's talk about points. Now, have Hovland been able to compete as a pro at Pebble, he'd had earned enough points to make the playoffs of the FedEx Cup playoffs. So there's also the points aspect too, that he had to remain an amateur in order to compete. So back in 2018 when he won that, he needed to stay amateur in order to compete at the 2019 U.S. Open. But if he would have had that choice of turning pro, well, obviously there's a choice now. Now, like you said, now you're going to make that choice. You're not forced into staying as an amateur. You can make that choice and then suffer whatever you're going to suffer after making that choice, or capitalize on making that choice, whatever it could be, and take that gamble. But to force somebody to stay as a status in order to participate in the Open, and this is a tournament right off of the amateur. This is a tournament you can earn FedEx Cup points with. Yeah.
Well, maybe this thing might evolve later on. Maybe they'll be listening to this show and say, you know what? Maybe they can stay amateurs and we can give them those points if they do. And maybe something will come along later on.
Something like a grace period. Like, okay, if you do play the U.S. Open and let's say you do turn pro within 6 months, we'll be able to put those FedEx Cup points on your profile.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be okay. You know what I mean? I don't know. I want to see how it evolves. Let's get Amanda's point.
Yeah, let's get Amanda's point here. Bring her in here. Amanda, you're a competitor. Obviously, you feel as a LPGA player, this is good for the sport.
Well, I just think that, I mean, I do see the side of, you were playing in a tournament as an amateur, so that qualified you for this next spot. So therefore you should have to go in as I see that. But I do like the fact that, let's say that's, X months away, and I compete, but my career is on the move and changing. So I'm done with school. I've made a decision that I'm turning pro. It just kind of limits my ability to be able to turn pro. And like Big said, kind of as a rebuttal, Bill, to your comment about it being kind of unfair as far as like it pushes you into the money side of things. But you're still making a choice. And like you said, like they're taking a risk. So if I decide to turn pro before that tournament, that risk is on me. I might not play well as a pro. And here's the thing. I think most golfers know when you're in that world and you're deciding whether to be an AM, whether to turn and get your status, everybody knows. I don't care who you are. There is always a grace period of, oh my gosh, like I turned pro. All you did was change the title and you literally play a different game. You are more nervous. It's so dumb. All it is a title, but it changes everything. And so I think to have the ability or the option to say, you know what, I am ready to turn pro and I want to turn pro. I've worked hard. I've gotten my exemption. I think it's okay. And then it allows them to not feel, in fact, the other way, forced to stay as an amateur when maybe their career is moving them in a different direction. You're kind of, your hands are tied. And you're like, well, I can't turn yet, even though I want to. I can't because of that. And who's going to turn down playing in the U.S. Open, and give up that spot and say, well, I want to turn pro. So I don't know. I mean, I can see both sides here for sure. But I just think that all in all, it just kind of unstickies the situation.
Now, again, let's be clear here, Bill. Also, this is only an option. So they don't have to turn pro in order to play the U.S. Open. That's just an option. They can still keep their amateur status to play in the U.S. Open.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a double-edged sword for them because if they don't do it, then you have like this guy's situation where, okay, I didn't make the top 125, and I could have been guaranteed X amount more of money just by competing in it if I would have turned pro. So that's where they're going to have to make. I think it's a good thing, and I think it's in every sport that, hey, you got an option. Nobody's telling you can't do this, but we're saying, okay, you're an amateur. You qualify for this based on as amateur status. Now it comes that you want to be a pro. They're saying, okay, yeah, you can do it and play as a pro. But now what happens to that person that's supposed to be playing as an amateur? What happens to the person you want a spot based on amateur status? And now we're correcting it and say, well, if you decide you want to be a pro, okay, now you're a pro. Now we're short.
You know what? I think I see what you're saying. So what you're saying is that spot in the U.S. Open was supposed to be secured by an amateur and play as an amateur.
Right.
Okay. Yes, that's what I'm trying. That's why I'm on the fence because of that particular thing right there. Yeah.
So just like on a leaderboard, you would see an A next to a name, and if he declares to be a pro to earn those points, now he's no longer that A. He's a pro.
Yeah. So now the amateurs lose that point. Yeah.
So Billy is saying, well, that spot was supposed to be for an amateur to be playing in. So now I'm starting to see what Billy's side of it is. Now I'm like, what are you talking about, Billy? That's that's where I was. I was like,
you're taking a spot essentially. But here's the thing, because I get it. You're taking what was supposed to be an amateur spot, and now you're taking another pro's spot. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, that's exactly where
it does tear me.
Yeah.
You know what I never understood, and I don't know. It's obviously a personal choice, but I always trip out on the people that really, and I know it is a big decision to turn pro. I'm not discrediting that it's a big jump and whatnot, but if I'm playing golf and I'm graduating college and I know I'm going to go start competing and try to do this for a living.
Right.
people act like giving up their amateur status is literally like paying $1 million. And so and here's my thing. I just wanted to turn pro right out of the gate, because the sooner I turned pro, I had more time to get acclimated to being pro. And so I have a couple friends that played 2 solid years with me on Cactus Tour and other tours as an amateur, and played well, like shot well. And I'm not saying that they, maybe the pro title would have changed something. It does for all of us. But at the end of the day, like 2 years, you're just gaining experience, but you're not in that pro world anyway. So it's not helping you when you do turn pro. And so I just always think some people, and you have to do what feels comfortable for you, for sure. But I don't know. I guess I see it as less of a big deal. Like at the end of the day, you can always get your amateur status back if you absolutely had to. Like, I think about it. What am I going to do when I'm 65 and want to play in the couples tournaments, or I want to go do, like, I can't even compete in my own club championship. Yeah. So
unless you undeclare, right? Is that what they call it?
So you'd have to undeclare. So at some point in my life, maybe that's what I'll do. Because even right now, right now I'm obviously playing, and it's important to me to be pro and for my company. But like, what am I going to do when I'm 65? And I'm like, well, I can't play on Women's Day and compete in the Calcutta, and I can't do this, and so it's definitely challenging for sure.
Absolutely. Well, and maybe, I don't know, something again the USGA could adopt or put in. If a amateur does declare pro before competing in the U.S. Open, I mean, we have seen people withdraw from tournaments, and in the 12th hour, somebody else get a phone call, or somebody else gets an email, and they have to hop on a plane to get there to compete as whatever to fill that spot. I don't know if that spot is still declared an amateur spot / pro slot if he declares pro, or is it strictly an amateur spot where they can call up maybe the runner-up or whatever, or another U.S. Am champion and say, hey, listen, we want you to, if you want, we're giving you an exemption into the U.S. Open. There is some questions, there's some unanswered questions, but the bottom line is this, Bill, and I agree that they have a choice. So they have a choice to keep their amateur status, or they have a choice to go pro. In some cases, like Amanda said, a golfer will know the momentum. So if they're playing well, they have played well over the last year, and this is something that they're going to look forward to, and this is something they want to fulfill in their life, that this is something they're going to make a living at, and he feels, what, I am just on fire. I know I want to make a living at this. I think I'm going to give it a go for the FedEx Cup playoffs this year. And I think that's something people have to look at, is each golfer is going to be different. So one golfer has to know in their head, I want to play well, or I want to play good in the U.S. Open. Am I going to play great? No. Therefore, I'm going to keep my amateur status. Another golfer, just as the one we just mentioned, was playing great, even if not greater, and says, you know what, I am in the best game of my life. I am right now feeling really good. I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to declare pro before I play in this U.S. Open. That way I can make these points.
Yeah. I'm just, and I get it. But, I'm still thinking, you know what, if I have the lotto numbers, the winning numbers, and I don't play, I don't win.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are the choices that we make. I'm gonna stay with my thing on the fence where I started, because it's going to open up other things like we talked about, like we discussed. Do we take away a slot from an amateur that truly should be there then at that particular point, being that he's a pro, or does a pro lose their spot? Still some questions that I want to. Maybe we can do some investigating our own and cause some havoc out there. Maybe that's my last point. Let's cross.
Well, if you give anything some time, I'm sure that point will come up. I'm sure it has, obviously, in the discussion to change the rule. Yep. But yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see if that's something that keeps getting brought up by players and when it actually happens. See, that's the thing. We haven't had it happen yet, where an amateur says, I do want to turn pro. And then a pro loses his spot, or like because he has to bump, they bump how many? Maybe they just add a spot. Maybe they add him as an additional pro. I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy. We'll find out soon.
Absolutely. What a great story it is, and some great views here on Bigg's Roundtable discussion, talking about the USGA new rule that you don't have to keep your amateur status to compete in the U.S. Open, both for the women and men. All right, coming up next here on Bigg's Golf Talk, I know Amanda has to take off. She's got work to do. So, Amanda, thank you so much for joining us on this Saturday morning. And
thanks, guys.
We'll see you in a couple weeks, huh?
All right.
Yes.
Coming up next, Maurice Allen to join us next, right here on Bigg's Golf Talk. We'll be right back.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
A golf ball that performs for you. The Encore Avant 55, hot off the tee, a formulated core that delivers more energy and utilizes soft cell technology to achieve ultra-low 55 compression. This blend of innovation and simplicity provides more distance and greater feel. The Caliber, maximum accuracy. A patent hollow metal core creates significant rifle spin while reducing side spin, allowing the ball to travel along a straighter trajectory. The Encore Elixir Tour Ball, hot list winner. The premium cast urethane cover delivers a soft and pure feel off the club face and gives the Elixir ultimate greenside control, durability, and unmatched putting performance. Be sure to check out their combo packages and sign up for the loyalty program. Gift cards are also available. For more information, their website is www.encoregolf.com. And be more with Encore.
Golf Dots is a unique, high-resolution ink transfer to personalize your golf game. Golf balls, golf shoes, clubs, Golf Dots can personalize it for you. Golf Dots conforms to USGA rules and doesn't alter the trajectory of your golf ball. Tour proven on all major tours, Golf Dots is designed and made in America. Many styles to choose from that will fit every golfer's personality. New styles are being released on a regular basis. To order your Golf Dots, visit www.golfdots.com and enter promo code BiggJon15. That's Bigg Jon, BiGGJON 15 for a discount on your Golf Dots. Golf Dots is available in many golf shops, such as the PGA Tour Superstore. The website for Golf Dots is www.golfdots.com. That is golf.dots.com or call 847-829-4238. Personalize your golf game today with Golf Dots.
This is Bigg's Golf Talk with Bigg Jon Vic and Bill the GolfFather Cuebas.
All right, this ball 4 coming your way. Ball 4 coming your way.
Stop turning. Nope. Wind pushed it down. It hit the water and you can see it going straight down.
He did it! He did it!
No way. Are you serious?
Copy that!
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Wow. Oh, that's
cool. Welcome back to Bigg's Golf Talk right here on Native Family Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and your Alexa devices. You heard it audio clip right there of one Maurice Allen knocking the ball over Niagara Falls. That video, that audio, is courtesy of Scratch Golf, who produced that video and put it out on the public. So we wanted to make sure we give them credit because that's where we got the audio from. Our next guest, Billy, he is a 2018 Volvik World Long Drive champion. We've had him on the show before. He is a big Ric Flair fan, and this guy has done something that nobody else could have done but him. John Daly last tried it back in 2005 and failed. It has been wondered since then, could any golfer hit a golf ball over Niagara Falls? And our next guest, Billy, has done that.
Yes, he has. I was watching impatiently, Biggs, watching the videos that they were doing. I was going crazy. I was like, come on, man. And when I saw the final one and the look of surprise and everything, just like he was when he thought he didn't make it and he did, it was incredible. You know, especially knowing everything that he's gone through, the story that he shared with us from the very beginning until now, the excitement and the joy that I felt, for him, I can't even describe, man. It was just so, I don't know. I know his story's not complete, but it was fulfilling for me to actually watch him get to this point. And, one of the questions I want to ask him when he's on it, how does he feel these last several years? Has he reached where he wanted to? Has he changed his goals? A lot of questions running through his head.
Absolutely. Well, let's get him on. Now, let me describe to you what happened. If you have not seen the video, we're going to put the video on social media so you guys can actually get an idea of what took place in Niagara Falls. Ball number 1 didn't make it. Ball number 2 didn't make it. Ball number 3 didn't make it. We pick up with ball number 4. That is the audio that you heard. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2018 Volvik World Long Drive Champion and the only man or woman to hit a golf ball over Niagara Falls. It is the miraculous Maurice Allen here on Bigg's Golf Talk. Maurice, welcome to Bigg's Golf Talk, my friend.
Oh, man, that's an intro, man. I could take you on the road, bro. I've never been called the miraculous Maurice Allen. That's a new one. That's the first, man. Shoot, that's like Steve Harvey coming out or something like that. Oh, no, man. That's the intro, man. I've heard some people get some intros before, but good.
You make us excited.
Yeah, I appreciate it. What's going on, fellas?
How you doing, sir? That was a miraculous feat in its own, hitting a golf ball over Niagara Falls. Let's start from the beginning. What made you want a golf ball over Niagara Falls?
Honestly, it was not my idea. Not at all. It was a combination between Avis and Scratch. People who have been around at least the last year or so know I've partnered with Avis and I've done some commercials and some promotions with them on the whole Is It Drivable campaign. And, we started with a park in Philly and then, Pitt Road in Atlanta. And this was just the third installment in that. And it turned out to be something that they came up with. And it was, I guess, kind of going back to the whole John Daly thing, which is funny because in 2005, I was not playing golf. And I had no clue that he attempted that. I found out maybe about 2 years ago, years or two, somewhere ago, literally, when you look back at it over 10, 11 years later is when I actually found out about it. And I was like, okay, I didn't really think much of it. But if you actually go to the falls themselves, it's a very moving place because when you look at it, people look at water. I mean, you guys obviously living on the coast, it's a little different, but the average person sees water in a very calm state. If you've been in a hurricane before, you understand the sheer power and the sheer force that water can have. And even growing up in Florida, being around hurricanes, seeing storm surge, surfing before and seeing rip current and all this other stuff, I still have never seen water move as fast as it does there. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. So the sheer power, just the rumble and the force and all of that, it's really interesting when you actually go there. So they came up with this idea to, I guess, reenact or retry or whatever. And they told me right around the API, actually, that this is what we were going to do, and I need to get myself prepared and get myself ready.
Now, you guys, I mean, in this video, and I'll give a little description. When we started off the video, obviously the first day that you guys went out there, and I don't know how many days are involved in the whole video, but the one day that is in the video, it was not conditions that you thought there's no way we're going to be able to do it here, so we have to scratch it, and you came back for another day. When I watched that, though, I just don't know how you could keep the focus. I mean, those conditions, I mean, like you said, the water alone, there was barely any visibility even through the video. There was barely any visibility that you could see where that golf ball is landing, but you seem to have been able to feel where the golf ball is going to land, except for ball number 4. Ball number 4 you thought was knocked right down. The water knocked it right down. It may have knocked it down, but it knocked it down over the falls.
Yeah, so it's a little different. The first day we were out there, I think it was more unsafe than anything else. It was still raining, and so everything was slippery. As you could tell, I'm, about 6 to 8 feet off the ground there.
Yeah.
And, liability becomes an issue, dude. If I slip and I go forward, everything, it turns into a whole nother ball game. Guy dies doing something dumb. Cross iron,
Yep.
right? So, obviously people like Scratch and Avis are always going to put safety first.
Yes.
And that's really important, more so than trying to catch some footage. And I think a lot of people, especially in today's generation, don't understand the safety portion. You always hear about people dying trying to take selfies or get the perfect picture and all this other foolishness. So for them to say, all right, it's bad, it's not a great day, but we need to just cut it just for safety mainly, and then we'll come back. And the second day, the conditions as far as visibility were almost the same, except it wasn't raining.
Right.
So, but there were pockets, honestly. So what happened when we first got there, because of the way the wind's blowing with the mist, originally it was blowing downwind. And when I first got out of the car, and I'm like, all right, let's go, it's downwind. And obviously, cameras had to set up and all this other stuff. And that's about 30, 45 minutes. And then the wind just turns cross-quartering into the face. And I was like, oh, my God, you got to be kidding me. Now it's a whole lot harder. But the other thing that changed was the mist. So originally the mist was about 175, 200 yards away. But when the wind shifted, the mist was literally 80 yards away. It was right there. So you had to get it quick. And so when you see in the video me saying it went straight down, it's because I could see the ball up to a certain point. And then once it started getting through the other portion of the mist, because there's the baby mist, and then there's some real water there, I start watching the birds. There's a lot of seagulls around there. So you watch the birds. If you know anything about physics, there's a downdraft, but there's also an updraft as well. So I'm looking and trying to pinpoint where's the downdraft, because I know I have to hit it as hard as I can to get through that. And if I can get through that, I'll catch the updraft on the other side, and it'll push the ball up in the air. People don't understand how light a golf ball is. If you took a hairdryer, you could move a golf ball across a room with a hairdryer.
Right.
So the same thing happens there. So when I'm looking at it, I'm telling it to stop turning, and I'm looking, and I'm looking at, oh man, you can see it go straight down, because I literally saw a bird probably about 30 yards to the right or to the right of it, and I saw the bird just swoop down. And I was like, I didn't make it past the downdraft. God, I was trying to get to the updraft. I couldn't get there. And that's when I turned around. I was like, I thought I had it. And literally that's when they told me. I heard Stoney just started laughing, like, you got to be kidding me. And I was like, what do you mean? It went through. But, I also had little markers that I put on the rails where I knew, like a vector, like a discus or a shot put, I had to stay in between those two spots for I could get it on the other side, because the other side really is not as wide as people think.
Right.
It's only about 30 yards across, but then it opens up the deeper you go. So at 340, it's 30 yards across. Then once you get to about 390 or so, it's about 80, 90 yards across, which is plenty of room, but you still got to get there. So that was probably the biggest thing about it, man. it's weird because people ask about how hard was it. The thing that you have to do is you have to launch a ball about, I don't know, 16, 17 degrees.
Wow.
And you got to hit it as hard as humanly possible, and it doesn't have a lot of spin. And so, at one point I used to say, man, they could have taken a bunch of long drivers and they could have accomplished this.
I know.
And I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's the truth or not. I know one long driver from Canada, Kevin Blakehorn, he was honest with people. He's like, I don't think he's going to make it. It's hard, it's tough, blah, 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 blah. And then he saw the videos, and he came right back on there, and he's like, well, I'll be 100% honest with you. If there's a long driver who can do it, Maurice is probably the only one, because he's the only one who hits the ball that high with that little spin and that hard. And so I don't know. There's no telling.
Maurice, I know Billy has some questions for you, but my final question I have for you as far as, the event itself, what was the total distance of your ball?
Sure. Ironically, it was the magical distance of 393, which is the exact same distance that I carried the ball in World Championships to win, and then it bounced and hit the hill at 426 yards.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is remarkable. Absolutely. Bill, I know you have some questions for Maurice here.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, I was going through, when I was trying to do some extra research and watching this stuff, you could see it literally for the listeners. You have to go and check out Maurice on Facebook and check out Avis and Scratch and watch the video and get a true perspective of what it is, because the cloud cover of what he's describing that he's seeing, we get to see the way they show it from the aerial, from the top, from the sides, from where he's hitting, from the other side where they found the ball. You see, there's a lot of variables that go into it, especially. I mean, most of us can't hit a fairway that's 100 yards wide
right.
and 100 yards in front of us. But I was looking at Maurice's page, and from 6 years ago, it just ironically came out, you get greatness from foolishness. And that's something that you had quoted yourself over 6 years ago, almost to the date from when they, published the videos and stuff like that. And you stuck by it. I've heard you. I've been listening to you during the conversation, and you use the foolishness a bunch of times inside of the, when you speak. How do you feel now? Do you feel that Maurice Allen has reached greatness, or do you feel that you still need to not the industry and not long drives, because I think it's continued to grow with you in it. I think you've been a big proponent that has pushed it forward. The women are adding their levels to it now, and you're watching this thing explode. We got military guys doing it now. So overall it's growing. But for you, do you feel that you have made that impact that you can, or do you think there's a lot more room for even more greatness in the coming years?
As far as the sport of long drive, I think that my name will be forever etched in it as being the face of the modern era. Obviously, people look at Zubak, and that was one era, and then Sadlowski was another era, and then I probably come in the era after that as being the face of the sport. It's really funny. I look back, and I think that's probably the thing that most people don't understand. I think that's the beauty of social media. And there are very few beauties in social media, but this is definitely one of them, where Facebook shows you stuff that you said 5-6 years ago, 7 years ago. And I remember when you and I first met, way back at the beginning of this journey. Yeah. And I used to be called everything under the sun. And you remember going through all that. Who does this guy think he is? He's arrogant. He's this. He's cocky. He's blah, 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 blah. And all I've ever done was literally preach hope to people from a guy who didn't, that's all I had, sleeping in my car and being a quote unquote journeyman in the sport of long drive, to being the face of the sport and never losing faith throughout that whole thing. And I listen to how people say, oh, he's changed or he's become Hollywood. And I'm like, no, I'm still saying the exact same stuff that I was saying 5, 6, 7 years ago. But the thing that you have to understand is sometimes once you get to a certain point, that's the only time people can hear you. Think about it now. I mean, I remember 6 years ago, the only radio show I could ever get was yours.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not even being funny. That's just legitimate.
It's the truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why you're here today.
To hear it. Nobody wanted to hear it, and the message is the exact same.
Yes.
Yes.
It's no different. I haven't said anything different, and I thought that was beautiful the other day when I said, man, this, and it popped up on my Facebook. I was like, can it get greatness from foolishness? That sounds exactly like something I'd say still today. And I looked at it, and it was like 2015 or 2013. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
like
it's 2013.
It's funny how profound or how much you can speak things into existence. And, that's all I've really tried to do. When you look at the game of golf, people who listen to the show, people who are playing the game, most of them are never going to be professionals. Let's just be 100% honest. Most of them aren't going to be club champions. This is something that people do for leisure and recreation. But there's so many life lessons that they can learn within this game. And if they take the time to actually learn them, let's not get pissed off. Let's not throw clubs. Let's not cuss and fuss and act a fool on the golf course. Let's actually find a way to compare and contrast and then critically think and use this in our day-to-day real life, whether it be with the wife, with the kids, at work, whatever it is that you're doing. Even the simple thing, how we talk about fixing a divot and yours and how that'll continue to make the greens on the course better. Well, you do the same thing. You have a good attitude, you say something nice, or you compliment, or you give someone, every person that you come across in your close proximity every day, a compliment, or you treat them nice, or you treat them with respect. That thing, that love, that energy continues to flow. And then you don't end up with things like we had in El Paso just a few days ago.
Yeah.
We get to a point where if we take care of each other, just like we're supposed to take care of a golf course, if every person does their part, the golf course is a living, breathing organism. It thrives, it flourishes, it grows. Same thing with us as a people, as a human being, as a race of human beings. We grow, we thrive, we flourish, we become better. And then, everybody does their thing. Everybody has different needs and wants in life and views, and we get it, but we respect them. And then we continue to move forward. And for me, it's kind of cool to see this thing go really, really full circle. Do I think that there's always a lot more I can do, and I'll continue to push. As you see now, I think I've done almost everything I want to do on the grid. I've got one more goal that I need to tackle on the grid. But off the grid, I got tons of goals. I want long drive to be a professional sport. I want people to be able to make professional money doing this. I want them to work in their community. I want them to have foundations. I want them to do all these things. So that's why I'm pushing for those things. But on the grid, I got one more thing I need to do.
Well, it's funny because I'm looking at the article that we did together back in 2012, and it was actually the second one that we had done together, and it's called The Long and Short of It. And that's when you actually broke the record, the speed record. And I'm in my office, I have every ball that I've made a personal accomplishment with, except for one. There's only one ball in my ball rack that's different. And for the listeners, it's the Maurice Allen golf ball. I have a caricature golf ball that you gave me years ago. It's in my office, and it's in my ball box because I believed in you. And that basically is the long and short of it. And I know you're doing a lot of great things. I know we don't have a lot of time, but, I want to thank you for your continued support. I see the scholarships that you're doing. You've done so much for the sport, so much for kids. You're giving back. You are the person that you said you were going to be 8 years ago, and you're still doing that. And I love to see what you got next. I love following what you got. And thank you for being on. Biggs, I know we got time short. How are we going to close it out, Biggs?
Well, one thing I want to say is thank you, Maurice Allen, for the person that you are and for the true champion that you are in golf and in life, because you are a true champion in life. Listening to you speak, very inspirational. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. I'm glad to get back where it all started. That's really, really cool.
How can people find out more information and follow you and what you're doing with Long Drive and everything else?
Simple, man. Maurice Allen 360 on all accounts. And then if you want to follow my foundation, it's just MA360 Foundation. So either Maurice Allen 360 or MA360 Foundation. That's how you can find everything that I'm doing.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the miraculous Maurice Allen hitting the ball, being the only man, only golfer to ever hit it over Niagara Falls, and he is the 2018 Volvik World Long Drive champion. More Biggs Golf Talk coming your way right after this.
Still using an old golf GPS watch? It's time to upgrade to ShotScope. ShotScope isn't just a golf watch. It's a fully automated golf performance tracking system on your wrist. ShotScope gives you access to over 100 tour-level statistics. Get putting analysis, short game breakdown, even find out how far you're booming your driver. All data is captured automatically by the groundbreaking ShotScope golf performance tracking system. ShotScope, the ultimate golf watch. Find out more at shotscope.com.
The United States Golf Challenge, sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka, is in its 5th season of identifying the best two-person amateur teams in the country. 8 teams and 4 flights in 2 age divisions represent Team USA in a Ryder Cup-style competition with their international counterparts in the King's Cup. We're looking for amateur golfers like you. The King's Cup is played in honor of golf's greatest ambassador, Mr. Arnold Palmer, whose honesty, integrity, sportsmanship, and commitment to excellence represent the ideals for which the game of golf is known. The road to the King's Cup begins with a local qualifier. Over 100 local qualifiers will be conducted throughout the U.S. beginning in February. By finishing in the top 30% of their local qualifier, teams earn their way into the USGC King's Cup National Qualifier. The USGC is also looking for golf courses to host qualifiers. For information or to search for a local qualifier, the USGC website is www.usgolfchallenge.com.
Golf Talk for golfers on Biggs Golf Talk. Back to Bill the GolfFather Cuebas and Bigg Jon Vic.
Welcome back to Biggs Golf Talk right here on Native Family Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and on your Alexa devices. Bigg Jon Vic along with the GolfFather, Bill Cuebas. And Billy, one of the things I've always talked about when you want to knock strokes off your game is your short game. Along with the short game, though, what comes next? Making more one-putts. Is that right?
Absolutely. If you can knock it in the first time, you ain't got to do a second time. I've heard. Right?
That's right. Well, at least not at that hole.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Well,
I always want to get in the first shot.
You know, when we were in Illinois and you were fitted for, you went through some extensive fitting for a putter.
Yep.
And obviously, what they fitted for was an Odyssey putter, by chance.
Yeah.
And you happened to own, but you didn't have that putter with you in Illinois, but you happened to own the putter they actually fitted you for, and that was just coincidental.
Yes, because I actually had a different Odyssey putter when we were in Chicago, and I was putting with that because I love the feel of it. So, but all the time, I literally had the right putter at home, which was another Odyssey sitting in my garage.
Right.
And it was awesome to find out that where I was making the impact, because I think we did the SAM technology to find out which, and it was just by stroke of luck that the Odyssey, no matter what, all my choices were Odyssey putters.
One of the things that we don't talk about, and we are going to talk about and touch on today, is all the technology that goes into a putter. Your putter is the only thing you're going to be touching every time you're on the green to make putts, to putt on the green. And how important is the technology in that putter? We're going to talk about that today with our next guest, Callaway, whose putter brand Odyssey is the overwhelming #1 in putter sales according to the Golf Data Tech research. Announced it had acquired Toulon Design and named Sean Toulon the new general manager of Odyssey Golf and senior vice president at Callaway Golf. Now, one of Callaway's fiercest rivals, now Toulon, will become one of its most passionate frontmen. It's a change no one, including Sean Toulon himself, would have predicted. But Mr. Toulon says it's one he's embraced as an opportunity of a lifetime going into his 3rd year. Sean Toulon, welcome into Biggs Golf Talk, my friend.
Nice to be with you guys. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you very much for being with us.
Happy to be here.
Now, Toulon Putters was alive and well before you became a part of Odyssey. How long has Toulon Putters been around?
Well, we had been, before we got acquired, we'd been shipping putters for 4 months and had gotten off to a great start. We were profitable in our first month, which is pretty much unheard of for any startup, and just ecstatic with the way the product was performing. We spent a lot of time developing the product, and I think we did it right. And then, to have it get acquired in such a short period of time was definitely not part of any plan. Kind of dumb luck, I guess, as much as anything. But since we joined forces here with Odyssey, it's just, honestly, it really has been a dream come true. Great group of people, super passionate about what they do every day, and it's been a lot of fun to be a teammate.
Certainly, Odyssey solidified as one of the number one putters out there. For even on tour or even amateurs using Odyssey, certainly one of the number one companies out there, a spinoff of Callaway. When you got that call 4 months after having Toulon out there, when you got that call, that has to be the greatest of compliments to receive that call and say, hey, we're interested in you.
Yeah. Well, yes, for sure. And when I got that call, I was 55 years old, too, and I will tell you that's probably not a lot of 55-year-olds are fortunate enough to get that. So, and then secondly, the fact that I worked almost 20 years, really trying to beat Callaway's brains in when I was at the other place, it's nice that Chip and Harry had a fairly short memory and had forgotten most of that. I mean, we competed in the same space, and I think we did a really good job of that and competed the right way. But, our job when I was at the other place was to be number one. And since we came back over here, certainly that's been the goal and the mission, just to make Odyssey, the leader and really a world-class organization, which, every day I think we get closer to being that.
You know what they say, if you can't beat them or they're a threat to your business, you acquire them.
Well, I don't think they looked at Toulon Design as an overall threat, but I think they really liked the attention to detail that we had, the commitment to just making the best, most beautiful performing mill putters on the planet, and we have a really, really strong competitor in Scotty Cameron there. But I really like the way we're attacking the business, and I think we're doing things really, really right. So I'm excited about where we are today, guys, but not just for what we've accomplished, but really what is on the horizon and kind of the near-term horizon. So excited about what's up next.
We're going to get to the product itself, Toulon Design, and the putters that you do offer, but something that you're just not designing a fashion putter. I mean, you've got great technology going into these putters, the Stroke Lab technology. Can you touch on that and what that's all about?
Yeah, I can, and I would say I think we're going to look back in 2019 as really an inflection point for putters, and what I mean by that is the technology with this shaft, and it really starts with the shaft. So the Stroke Lab shaft only weighs 75 grams versus a typical steel shaft in a putter weighs about 120 grams. So there's a lot of weight that's trapped in the middle of that club that we felt like, look, the reason why golfers struggle with putting is because their strokes, the main reason is their strokes are really inconsistent. So we always talk about improving the forgiveness of a driver head or a 7-iron or whatever it might be. So we talk about MOI. And we do talk to some degree about MOI in a putter head, but we started to get curious about the MOI of the entire putter. And if you're going to try to attack that, you have to look at every component that you use to build the putter, and if you could engineer it in a different way, could you actually improve the forgiveness of the whole club, which is really what we did starting with the shaft. So I think the inflection is going to be, do you remember when we used to always we all played steel shafts in our drivers, and now everybody plays graphite? I think you're going to start to see that change being made in putters, because it dramatically improves 5 or 6 really key variables in your putting stroke, and we've seen it in literally hundreds of tests with average golfers and hundreds of tests now with touring professionals. They're just better with it. So I think you're going to start to see major changes, not just from Odyssey, but I think you're going to see our competitors follow, because I just think it's such a step change.
Now let's talk about the product, because you offer a various array of different type of putters for the for the person out there that may like half mallet, may like blade. But you offer a wide variety. So one of the things that you also offer is design your own putter, don't you?
Yeah, we do. So let me attack the first part of it, guys. So we have a bunch of different head shapes, all the way from some of the most iconic, one being 2-ball on the pure Odyssey side in the Stroke Lab, number 7, which if I would guess combined, there's over 50 major championship. Not 50. I don't know how many scoops. Over 50 wins this year, but major championships over the year, there's probably 12 to 15 that have been won just with those two head shapes. So when we design the line, we try to make sure that we've got different alignment options for golfers. So some with dots, some with lines, some without anything, some with, like the 2-ball with totally different alignment aids, so that golfers have a better chance of getting aligned where they hope they are, which is on target. Golfers really struggle with that. Secondly, when we design the line, we also try to make sure that we've got anything from face balance to even toe-up putters that don't have much rotation for a golfer. So if you don't open or close the putter face much, it's really important that you have a putter that's complementary to that. To somebody who, like a Ben Crenshaw, who has a lot of face rotation, we like to try to have a putter with a lot more toe hang for that. So we try to design the line so there's really something for pretty much everybody in there. And then ultimately, when you get to the Toulon side of it, where I would say art really begins to meet science in a more robust way, where these putters are really designed to fit your eye and can be customized so that if you like different paint schemes, if you don't like different weights, if you like different pretty much anything, you can custom design a putter, much like we would do for any of our tour players in a program we've called Toulon Garage, which is an online configurator. So I would say at Odyssey, gosh, if you can't find a putter from us, you're gonna have a hard time finding anything from anybody.
It makes sense. I've been trying to figure out, and maybe you could help us and the listeners, the names. How did you come up with the names? You have Atlanta, you have Azalea. I'm assuming Azalea is more for Georgia and stuff like that kind of thing. But how did you come up with names Las Vegas? I'm not used to seeing putters' names like that. How did you decide to come up with names like that for them?
Well, number one, we just believe, golfers have a very different relationship with their putter than they do with almost any other club in their bag. I would say the only other club that's really similar, which would be is highly emotive, would be a driver. So I would say golfers could have a love-hate relationship with a putter for sure. I know I do. So we, instead of calling them, by a number, we wanted things that maybe would evoke a little bit more emotion, and I think names do a better job of that than probably alphanumeric nomenclature might have. So when we started, I started the company with two of my sons, Tony and Joe. So we started with names that meant something to us. So the first one was Madison. I'm born and raised in Madison, Wisconsin. And that's a classic heel-toe answer-style blade. We moved to San Diego 30 years ago when I took a job out here for TaylorMade. So Toulon Design was founded in San Diego. That's how that came about. Then as we grew and we had more models, we started to come up with names that had some sort of significance either to our family or to the game itself. Rochester, I think Walter Hagen is a total badass, and he's there, and he's just a cool dude. So he's from that area, so that's where Rochester was. And then the other part of it, you guys, is we've done these really cool logos with each one of the cities. So the Las Vegas is really a Toulon Design take on Odyssey's famed number 7. So 777, that just felt like Las Vegas made sense for that. Palm Beach is a great golf town. So that's where that came from. Azalea is a fun one because typically we've named them after cities. That was a putter that we had 911 call from Sergio Garcia about 18 months ago. I need a putter like this. I got to have it in 9 days because I'm leaving for Singapore, and I have to have this. And if you don't have that, I'm going to use an old Ping Zing. So he extorted us into working over the holiday week. We still have her, and as you know, he had won Augusta the year before. What you didn't know is he was going to name his daughter, yet to be born, Azalea. So we let him name it Azalea. So that was actually a putter done for Sergio, named after his soon-to-be-born daughter. So that was fun. So all the names have significance to us, or ultimately, hopefully, to golfers, and it's just more emotive. I think it's more fun.
Absolutely, I think so. Because like when I was looking at Memphis and Las Vegas, I started shaking my leg and doing my Elvis Presley. My lip
is a big music guy, so that's where Memphis came from, and who knows? Maybe we'll have a New Orleans. We'll have some other ones, maybe a Nashville at some point. But it's been fun to come up with the different ideas.
Big fan of Atlanta. Big fan of Portland one that you have there. One thing I want to talk about next is the face. Yep. I don't know if I don't know if this is just looked or you did it on purpose. This is a technology that's in the face. But how that face looks, I'm just saying it's sexy.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. We try to make them look sexy. That's, the emotion as a designer that we're trying to create, I guess it's an emotion, it's at least a feel, is that of lust. So that, as a golfer, when you look at a golf club, our job as a designer is to get it to the point where a golfer looks at this, our putters are not cheap, right? They're $450. So, it's not something that a golfer has to have. But we try to get it to the point that when you see it, golfers are fairly rational people. I think if we do an incredible job in design, which we try to do on all of our products here, we get it to the point where a highly rational person, a golfer, makes a kind of irrational decision, right? And if we can get it to the point where it's I know I don't really need it, but when I see it, I just say, God darn it, I have to have that. And I think that's a part of it. But logic plays a part of it, right? And in putters, there are technologies that you can design that A, can look sexy, but B, can deliver a level of performance beyond all others. And what we did with that face, when early on with the boys, we had 25 different mill patterns that we tested. And what we wanted to do versus the other milled putters that were out there, and you can think of specifically one brand, our goal was to, if we could make it feel a little softer than that one, but roll the ball better. We asked hundreds of golfers, would you want putter that felt softer and rolled better? And everybody, I have yet to hear anybody say no to that, right? So the way that works is midway through it, I'm a car buff. I got inspired by car tires. And if you look at the tread pattern and what car tires are trying to do, they're trying to improve the contact patch of cars in the road for better traction, right? And the way you really channel debris is through all of the different tread patterns that these engineers have come up with. So water, crud, grime, whatever it is, goes through the tread pattern, improves the contact patch, and you have better control. So it's just fluid dynamics. The way sound works is very much the same way. So if I want a putter to sound a little quieter, which means it's going to feel softer, sound and feel really go hand in hand like taste and smell. So if I want it to feel softer, I need to have at the moment of impact less sound from that shock of impact go to your left ear if you're a right-handed golfer. So in order to do that, we had to come up with a pattern, much like a tread pattern on cars, that would take that shock and it would dissipate it in different ways so less sound would come up to your ear. If we could do that, we could accomplish our goal of making the putter feel a little softer. The second part of it, if you take your thumb from the bottom of the face and run it up towards the top, you're going to feel a bunch of friction. On a normal mill putter, you won't feel any of that. And because putters have loft, if there's no friction, it will ride up the face of the putter, and with the 3 or 4 degrees of loft, it'll start to come off with backspin. No good in putting. So with ours, it has a little groove that runs horizontal to to the ground. That stops the ball from running up the face, turns it into a much better forward roll. So you'll see anywhere from a 20 to 40 RPM pickup in forward roll versus a normal putter. So, mission accomplished. It sounds better, it feels better, and it rolls the ball better. And to your point, guys, I think it looks pretty darn sexy, and it's really been something that from average golfer to tour player has resonated in a big, big way.
Absolutely. Sean, we got about 60 seconds here. One thing I want to finally ask you is about dexterity. Is this available in both left-handed and right-handed?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Perfect. How can people find out more information about Toulon Design by Odyssey?
Just go to odysseygolf.com, and it's all right on there. So you'll see the full lineup anywhere from our new stroke lab all the way to the Toulon Design products. We're having just an awesome year, a phenomenal year on tour, and just excited to be a part of it.
Thank you so much, Sean Toulon. And Billy, if you want to really improve your game, you have to invest into your game. And having that stroke lab technology is a technology that I think is going to help somebody's game on the green and certainly make less putts. And I certainly encourage people to check out Toulon Design. More Biggs Golf Talk coming your way right after this.
Have you ever seen a tour pro line up a putt with a dirty ball? No way. A clean ball rolls accurately, and accurate putts mean lower scores. The solution? Ready Putt. It's the putter cover reinvented. Ready Putt has a patented ball cleaner that's made to absorb and retain water. All you need to do is add water, and it remains wet throughout your round, giving your ball the perfect shine. It also has a magnetic surface to hold your ball marker and divot repair tool. Let's say you switch putters from round to round using a blade, mid-mallet, or large mallet. Ready Putt Original has you covered. Look, putting is hard enough. Accurate putts start with a clean ball, and a clean ball starts with Ready Putt.
For more information about Ready Putt, visit ReadyPutt.com. That is ReadyPutt.com. Clean it and sink it. The Spider Divot Tool's revolutionary new design is better for greens and makes ball mark repairs easy. No sharp ends or dirt in your pocket, the Spider achieves amazing results with little or no skill. With a simple push-pull action, the Spider makes ball marks disappear quicker and better for a smoother putting surface. The Spider includes a magnetic ball marker and is made of milled aluminum to last a lifetime. It also makes a great gift for your next tournament and that special golfer who has it all. The Spider tool from Instagolf is a must-have in every golfer's bag. For more information about the Spider Divot Tools, their website is www.spiderdivottools.com and enter promo code BIGG Golf Talk to get 10% off your purchase. www.spiderdivottools.com. The Spider Divot Tools is the official divot tool of Biggs Golf Talk.
This is Biggs Product of the Week. Each week, Bigg Jon and the GolfFather select a golf product to feature. Here is Bigg Jon Vic and Bill, the GolfFather Cuebas, with this week's Product of the Week.
Biggs Product of the Week is sponsored by U.S. Golf Challenge with Tito's Vodka. Qualify for the King's Cup today by participating in a local qualifier near you. Look for a local qualifier at usgolfchallenge.com or at biggsgolftalk.com. And also, Tito's Vodka. You must be 21 years of age to enjoy a great Tito's beverage. And friends, don't let friends drive drunk. And Billy, our Biggs Product of the Week is Daphne's Headcovers. Now, you are likely to find a Daphne's display, sometimes two, sometimes three, sometimes a whole store, at most any golf store, golf club, or resort, pro shop. They like to think their head covers liven up the place. People love stroking the soft fur, smiling at the silly gopher, hugging the lovable lab. So I think I was doing that when I was at the PGA show, wasn't I?
You had the dog that looks like your dog savior.
Yeah,
and you got the same head at it. But I think her cover was a lot cuter than you. But yeah, you almost look like it. Almost.
With more than 175 designs to choose from, Daphne's Head Covers is sure to have something that you're looking for and to fit your golf personality. Now, let me tell you something. When you drop off that golf bag at the bag drop, people are going to turn their heads. It's going to start a conversation and create new friendships. Daphne's Headcovers is Bigg's product of the weekend. We have the young lady that is the CEO and founder of Daphne's Headcovers, Jane Spicer, here to talk about what's new for 2019. I see there's quite a few new headcovers that is new for 2019 and other things that we happen to know about Daphne's Headcovers. And Jane, welcome into Bigg's Golf Talk.
Oh, good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
This is, I think, the first official interview we've had with you on the radio show itself. We've done like a video. We've done an interview at the PGA
shows.
Right. Yep. But as far as actually being on the show and sitting back in our chairs, you're on vacation, we're in our studios, but this is the first interview that we've had Daphne's Headcovers on for the show itself. So welcome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Thank you very much.
I'm excited. I mean, she's taking out time from her vacation, Biggs. That's how big this interview is.
That's exactly right.
You like that. I know. I had to throw it in.
Yeah.
Daphne, you've been at it for what, 38 years now?
40 years, actually. So 40 years since I sold the first head cover as a 16-year-old girl.
Wow. That's an incredible story that we've shared before in the past. Maybe you want to share just a tidbit, so they can get caught up on that, and then we'll move forward. Because, there's a lot of history to how you got started at the age of 16.
Oh, sure. Just a kind of a Reader's Digest version. I had a toy company when I was 10, and it morphed into head covers based on a company's namesake, Daphne, my mom. She bribed me and said, if you sell enough head covers, I'll buy you a car. And I was almost 16, so I went out and I gave a lot of really bad sales pitches. There were no golf club covers, animal head covers out there. And Daphne's Headcovers was born. I earned the car, and 40 years later, we're a global company and, lucky enough to be on some amazing professional golfers' bags. And as you so kindly said, we're found in golf shops and resorts all over the world.
And you know where else you're found? In Billy's office. Everywhere.
Yay!
Because I got me some sock monkeys from our best friend Shannon. I got some of those. I got my gopher. I got my American Eagle. Everybody's like, what do you want for holidays, birthdays, Father's Day, this day? I virtually had everything I want except the full collection of Daphne's Headcovers. So anybody listening, if you want to send me gifts, I'll send you a list of what I have. I need some more Daphne Headcovers. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
I appreciate that.
I'll tell you what, for those that represent freedom or represent the USA, those folds of honor people that follow us, you want that American Eagle as your driver cover. I mean, that is
absolutely.
Oh my God, that eagle is just a phenomenal looking eagle, and obviously the bald eagle being America's bird. But one thing I'm so impressed by is what your Hall of Fame looks like as far as PGA Tour and LPGA Tour players have really. I mean, you're the queen of head covers. Logistically, you are the queen of head covers. Do you look at yourself like that?
No, I don't, although I'm smiling by that description. Thank you.
Well, we're going to say Queen, you're Queen Jane. From now on, will forever will be Queen Jane. Here, we
I'm
understand.
going to tell my kids that.
Yes, you are the queen. Because, and you know what, we laugh, but it is the truth what Bigg said. Everywhere I go, I'm fortunate, and Biggs is fortunate too, that we get to go to a lot of special events. I mean, you can see people like Morgan Pretzel with your head covers. You see Tiger with his Tiger. You see Maurice, who just hit it over Niagara Falls. I mean, with huge shots. They represent your covers. And it's not like, oh, we're paying you. No, everybody loves your covers. I see them on everybody, even the ones that are trying to hide them. Your covers are everywhere. And I love it. I love that I can go somewhere, and I may not know what they're on their bag or who they are, but I know that we share the love for Queen Jane. I had to get that
out.
Now, you have something really cool for 2019, some new covers for 2019, including what do they call it, the Living Dead, Billy?
The zombie. Yes, I love him.
Yes.
I've been talking about him because I watched The Walking Dead and The Talking Dead and everything else Dead, and sometimes I feel like I'm part of The Walking Dead. So yeah, I've been hinting to my kids.
And he's dressed in a golf outfit. The zombie is.
It's awesome. He's awesome.
And they even they have one for Logan too, the unicorn.
Mm-hmm. Yes. He got him his unicorn cake. That would be priceless. Yeah. I'm going to share a story that I'm not supposed to, but maybe it gives, Queen Jane an idea. We call our boy Logan Juicebox because we love him. Everybody has a nickname on our Sunday foursome, and maybe you can make a giant jukebox for the kids and stuff like that. It'd be perfect. I think it'd be great.
There you go.
Yeah, a juice box.
I love it.
That's awesome. And I love that cactus. Have you seen the cactus that she's been posting, Big?
Yes.
Oh, I love the cactus. He's too cool. Now, I couldn't tell by the picture, Queen Jane, but is it will it fit your driver? I can't tell because I'm assuming it's in Arizona, the picture, and it has a huge cactus behind it. But will it fit? Is it retrospect like the same size as all the other ones?
Absolutely, yeah. The cactus and all the head covers are designed to fit your driver. So
awesome.
You bet.
And then, the other one I like, the new one. They have a Spanish bowl.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
For our Spanish friends that listen to the show, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Orale. And does it have a little red thing that you can shoo it into so come
a little cape.
Attack you? No, a little cape. Yeah, it's come a little cape so you can wipe your balls with it. And you see, give you another idea, Queen. Look at that.
There you go. You guys are full of it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Jane, you can go back when you come back from vacation, listen to the podcast. What was those ideas again? What was I need to make some more money here. What was those ideas?
I'm on vacation mode. I'm on vacation. I'm not supposed to be thinking about these kind of things. So, yeah, I want to find out. Okay, Biggs, did you have a question? Then I'll go after you.
Yeah, absolutely. Jane, so what else do you have for 2019 besides some of the things? I know there's a flamingo in there somewhere, too. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have the head covers that you mentioned. We've got the zombie in a golf outfit. And we have a funny thing there. Of course, the zombie has a tear in its hat. It's missing an arm. And people will call us and say, hey, we got your zombie head cover, but something's wrong. Its arm fell off. And I'm like, no, that's what zombies are like. So the zombie and the unicorn benefits Girls Golf Phoenix. They're one of our charities that we absolutely love, and the biggest chapter for Girls Golf is in Phoenix. So a portion of the profits from the unicorn, anywhere it's sold in the world, goes to Girls Golf.
Oh, nice.
And then you saw the Spanish bull, and you're right, the cactus is a result of requests of all the Arizona golf courses, and that's where Daphne's head covers is located. So they were all saying, we need more desert. Type things for everybody from the East Coast that comes out and says, oh, this cactus is a crazy thing. So those are new. We also have an absolutely fabulous Roadrunner, which if you golf in Arizona and you see that huge bird walking across the course, they're our best salespeople. People see the bird and then rush into the pro shop. Oh, we've got to have that. We're always coming up with new designs. Yeah, aren't they cool?
Oh, they're beautiful. Especially, I think somebody posted a video of them trying to chase one. I forgot. I know I saw a video of somebody trying to chase one of those Roadrunners, and I was cracking up because they pulled up limp afterwards because they were aggressive. That thing. There's no way. And you know who else? Big, she got, I don't know if you noticed, but she has I don't know what kind of, because I'm not really good at names of dogs and stuff like that, but she has a puppy that supports Girls Golf of Phoenix, which we had her as a guest on our show. When they had the big ball drop.
Yep.
Remember?
Yeah.
So she has that. One of the main reasons that I fell in love with Daphne from the beginning, besides the amazing head covers, is everything she does for charity. She does a lot for charity. From Gabriel's Angels to it all. So that's why I became such a big, huge fan. She gives a lot more than she's getting in accolades, and she deserves it. She deserves a lot of credit for what she's bringing to this game.
Absolutely. Daphne, or Jane, rather. I always want to call you Daphne. I know that's your mom's name.
Yep.
Jane.
That's okay. It's a big compliment.
I'm just going to call you Queen.
Yes.
I love that.
That's a new head cover.
There we go.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Queen, let me ask you this. What about the custom aspect? People could come to you and actually have a custom head cover built, can't they?
Absolutely, yeah. Daphne's Headcovers does customs. We have a minimum to do that because we're custom fabrics. But let's say you had you wanted to do the BiGGs radio show. We would design something that was exclusive to you. It wouldn't be available on the line anywhere. Only you would have it for your golf tournament or, any corporations. So we do a lot of custom work, taking somebody's logo, anything from, a goofy dog to a tractor, to a wine bottle, whatever your corporate logo is, we can create it into a really top quality head cover that will be on all the golf bags. It's a great conversation starter long after corporate events.
Okay, should I throw a big tournament just so I can make my own head cover? Can you imagine this face on a head cover? The GolfFather. I live legendary. I'd be like the next Bubba Watson. Or they might call me Bubba Watson. Yeah, I might be the less. You know what I mean? But I think it's awesome though. I love everything you do, and I'm thankful that you took the time to get us on because I really wanted to get tied in. My last question. So I know because we're short on time and everything, and we have to get it back on vacation mode because even the Queen vacations. Can you just end your part with where they can find Daphne Headcovers and your tie-in with Maurice? Because, he just blew it out the water, literally, or over the water.
Through the water.
Niagara Falls. Yeah, through the water, through the woods, mist, and everything else. And you have been a big supporter of his. For as long as I know Maurice, he's had your head covers on, and he does a lot of things where he actually gives them away. I've seen him giving them to the kids and doing special shows, and he gives so much back like you do, to the young golfers out there. And maybe you could finish it up with that kind of stuff, giving us your time with him and where they can find you and everything else.
Oh, gosh, I'd be happy to. I've got a long-term friendship with Maurice Allen. He is just such a kind person and a class act. And, his smile when he hit the golf ball over Niagara Falls.
Yes.
If that didn't make you smile, I was smiling and jumping up and down while I'm looking at my phone as I saw it. So we've been friends for years, and Maurice and I have a very similar philosophy. Daphne's Headcovers' core value is we must do good while we're doing well, which is, you touched on earlier with our whole philanthropic goal. And Maurice is the same way. He works super, super hard and really, really dedicated. He's got a huge heart. And when we became friends many, many years ago, it was one of those things where you have an introduction and you go, we're going to be friends forever. This guy is such a class act, and he's got such a big heart and such a gorgeous work ethic. So we've worked together steadily, and we've had great repartees. Last time I was in China designing, I'm texting him back and forth. We're trying to settle on another special colorway for his dragons, and he's sending me pictures. And I'm 14 hours ahead, so this is probably happening at 3 a.m. for him.
Wow.
So he's great, and he was by my office recently, Maurice and Phyllis, and these big hitters with big hearts, and so we're working together to do some more projects that will really, really do some good with his dragons. So it's been a wonderful friendship.
Wow, that is awesome. Awesome. Now, your website is daphnesheadcovers.com, but like Billy said, they are available in golf shops all over the country. As a matter of fact, over 75 countries overall that you're available in, and that is phenomenal. Congratulations on that. But they can also call 800-DAPHNE-2, Daphne-2. So 1-800-DAPHNE-2. But Jane, any other thoughts for the listeners out there? I should say Queen Jane, any other thoughts for the listeners out there when it comes to your head covers?
Well, I'm just so grateful to everybody who carries Daphne's head covers, and we're the only head cover company in the world that comes with a lifetime guarantee, because the way I feel, if you are kind enough to buy Daphne's and love it, I want it to be on your bag forever. So we're here for you always, and to you two, thank you so much for letting me be on your show. I love our friendship, and I love all that you do for golf. And all of us at Daphne's Headcovers are just grateful to be on your show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Queen Jane. We appreciate it. Daphne's Headcovers is Bigg's Product of the Week. Bigg's Product of the Week is sponsored by U.S. Golf Challenge with Tito's Vodka. Qualify for the King Cup today by participating in a local qualifier near you. Visit usgolfchallenge.com or biggsgolftalk.com for that local qualifier. And just a reminder, next Saturday, we are going to be on at 1 p.m. Central Time. So no show at 9 a.m., 1 p.m. Central Time, live from Tito's 36-hole major in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Billy and I are looking forward to that. Now, blockbuster news just in right now. As a matter of fact, we are going extra holes featuring a story with Amp Caddy. So you're going to want to listen on iHeartRadio and on Spotify. We're going to be leaving Native Family Radio right now, though. But we are going extra holes on iHeartRadio and Spotify featuring a story with Amp Caddy. Well, Billy, that does it for another great show, my friend.
It's a great show, but we didn't do a phrase that pays. And this week's phrase that pays will be all hail to Queen Jane. Queen Jane is the phrase that pays, folks.
There you go. Queen Jane is a phrase that pays. Until next week, from Tito's 36-hole major challenge, I'm Bigg Jon Vic. He's the golf father, Bill Cuebas, and for the golf diva, Amanda Robertson. This has been Bigg's Golf Talk. Thanks for listening, and you matter. Good golfing, everybody. We'll see you next week.